All right, guys, welcome back from your break. I hope you enjoyed your holiday season, Christmas and New Year's. Hopefully that you got a chance to spend some time with your family and your friends. And hopefully you got maybe some gifts and some presents that you've been wanting so far this year. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our math lesson for today. So go ahead and get out these 3 pages for me, page 69, page 71, and page 73. So go ahead and take a second to get those 3 out, 69, 71, and 73. Go ahead and pause the video, resume when everyone's got these pages out. All right, so let's take a look at what we're going to be working on today. All right, so if you remember right, we are in our math unit of dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. So taking, for example, 1/4 and splitting it into 5 pieces, or taking 1/3 and splitting it into 4 pieces. So as we look at this, we're going to be playing tic-tac-toe today to review what we went over before break. So you are going to do a tic-tac-toe, your teacher versus the class. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how it's going to work, and then you are going to go from there with the class picking a problem, the teacher, and the class and the teacher, so forth and so on. So you are going to need, for this assignment, you'll need page 70, which has the 9 problems in tic-tac-toe order. And you'll also need page 72, which should be a blank white sheet. So on the back of page 71 right here, page 72 is a blank white sheet. So go ahead and get that out for me. So you're going to have your tic-tac-toe board next to you, and you're going to have your blank sheet of paper on the other side. So go ahead on your blank sheet of paper and split this into 9 boxes. So you can split it into 2 lines going across and 2 lines going down, and then you can label each of your boxes. So you can go ahead and label this one number 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got your 9 different problems. So what's going to happen here on this paper is going to be your worksheet to solve each of the correlating problems for your tic-tac-toe. So if your teacher picks a problem, everyone's going to work it out, and you're going to see if they're going to also work it out and see if they got the right answer. If they get the right answer, they get to put a mark on that problem. And then you guys are going to pick a problem, you're going to work it out, and if you get that one right, you get to put a mark on that problem. You go back and forth and back and forth. And we'll talk about what happens if someone does miss one. All right, so I am going to do a review. So I'm going to be the teacher's first turn. So the teachers get to go first. They're going to be X's, and the students are going to be O's. All right, so the teachers are going to pick problem 5 to do first. So go ahead and do this one along with me. And then we're going to see if I get it correct. You can check to see if I got it right based on what your work looks like. So it says Mr. and Mrs. Wu. I'm on the page 70, which has all the different problems. Mr. and Mrs. Wu have 1/3. So here's my keyword, have, and 1/3 of a giant tube of popcorn left. How much popcorn does each of them get if they share the popcorn equally? All right, so let's think about my equation here. So I'm going to zoom in now. All right, so it says that they have 1/3. This is their popcorn. And so they want to share it equally among them. Well, we have to figure out, once again, what is them? It doesn't give us another whole number. Them is the 2 of them, Mr. and Mrs. Wu. That's the 2 of them that are sharing it. So we're trying to figure out how much does each person get. Each person get. right? So there's the setup of my problem. Remember, once again, my standard I'm looking at is I'm taking a unit fraction, splitting it with a whole number. So remember when I'm doing my division of fractions and whole numbers, I have to start with whatever I'm starting with. I'm starting with popcorn. So go ahead and you can go ahead and draw your one rectangle here, and we're going to shade in 1/3. So split it into 3 equal pieces and then just do a light little shade of that piece. So go ahead and do that. So if this is all that's left, just the 1/3, this little piece is all that's left, I now have to break this up into 2 pieces, this whole picture into 2 pieces. So I'm going to break it into 2 pieces. So if you notice, once you split it once going horizontally, you'll see now several different pieces. So we're going to say that this is Mr. Wu. It's kind of hard to see. And this is Mrs. Wu. So Mr. Wu is getting 1 piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. And Mrs. Wu is getting 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So each of them is going to get 1/6. So they take their 1/3 right here, and we had to split it so they each got a piece by 2 to get 1/6. All right, so take a look at that. See if your work on your paper matches. So now what you're going to see is you're now going to go back to your tic-tac-toe board. And for the teachers, so if you're in Miss Perez's class, you're Miss Manchester, Miss Beecraft, they are going to put a big X over number 5. All right, you're gonna do the same thing on your paper. You're gonna put a big X right here across number 5. Now what they are gonna do is they're not gonna call on one of you and pick a problem that the class is going to then get a chance to put their mark on. So let's say, for example, they call on you and you say, the class wants to do number 1. So on number 1, the class will solve number 1. They will then call on someone to give the answer. If that is correct, then the class gets to put an O on the one that they choose. Now, if the class is incorrect and they don't get it correct, then the teacher gets a chance to steal that question. So be careful, because if you don't get the right answer, and they're going to let you talk and have a conversation about it, but if they don't get the right answer, then the teacher can steal, and then they can put an X for themselves as well. Same thing if the teacher misses it, the teacher picks one, the teacher says, I want number 2, and they missed, then the class has a chance to steal. So always make sure you got your work down in case that they call on you for a choice to either pick it or for a chance to steal it if the teacher does miss it. And you're going to keep playing until somebody gets tic-tac-toe and gets 3 in a row, or it might end up in a tie depending if both of you keep solving them correctly and keep getting them right. Okay, so that's how tic-tac-toe works. You can go back and forth with your teacher. When you finish, you'll have a couple more little assignments to work on. So you'll have right here where it says this puzzled parrot, and it kind of goes over this right here. This will be your early finisher activity. And you'll also have your fraction division exit ticket, which we are going to be taking for a grade. Now this one does, be careful, because this one does have a fraction by a whole number, but it also has a whole number by a fraction. So we might have to go back and say, wait a minute, okay, what did we do again when we got to our whole number by a fraction? So once everyone's finished, and you'll do this exit ticket, and we are taking this for a quiz grade. So make sure you're trying and doing your best work on your quiz on page 73. All right, good luck at tic-tac-toe. Try to beat your teacher. and then you have a couple more assignments that you will be working on when you finish. I will see you guys tomorrow.